Welcome to BSA Talks. Today we're going to be discussing artificial intelligence. It's the latest topic that people are very interested in the business. It also happens to be an area that I've spent several years working in directly.
Well, Dave, I know you have a lot of experience with AI. Why did everyone get so scared when DeepSeek AI came out?
I will tell you what my response to DeepSeek AI coming out was, and then I'll tell you why I think they got so scared. My response to when DeepSeek AI came out was to put every spare bit of cash that I had into NVIDIA and Palantir, and also into some of the other AI companies like Meta. And the reason I did that was because it had all of the makings of phony hype. It used older versions of the NVIDIA chips. Oh boy, that meant it used NVIDIA chips. And that means that the next generation of NVIDIA chips, it will do better than it does now, no matter what algorithms there are. So I think people panicked because there had been quite a run-up in the AI stocks, and I don't mean just NVIDIA and Palantir, but Meta and Microsoft and Google and Alphabet and others like that had a tremendous run-up, and they were looking for an opportunity for a correction.
Yeah.
I think. So they panicked and they got the correction, although it wasn't very much of one.
Yeah, and to tie back into the technology side of things, so AI relies heavily on a GPU. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, how much processing power does an AI realistically need, and how would we scale it so that we're able to use the AI?
Well, there's a reason that they're looking at nuclear power and other methods for generating the power for AI processing, because it's ferocious. It's absolutely ferocious. I mean, all of the, I would call it somewhat silly, mining of Bitcoin is just a shadow compared to what AI will take in terms of processing power, which means the whole thing about it uses older chips is irrelevant. We're developing the new chips that are capable of handling all that processing power and delivering on it. So I think we're going to see more and more and more power devoted to the algorithms of AI, meaning what it takes to train. The input data that comes in, the processing, the learning, the extraction of information from it by the algorithm. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, but I think it's a necessary thing. Meaning, I don't think that there's a way around it. It's simply, if you're going to learn what the world is like, the world's awfully big.
Yeah. So with AI being the future, right? Which obviously we all know this by now. How can I use it to make my business more productive?
The most important thing right now, as far as AI is concerned, and business, is to decide where in your business artificial intelligence is applicable. And in particular, what do you mean by artificial intelligence? There's machine learning, which is sort of at the bottom area, which is what I've done for 40 years. And then there are rules-based systems, which proved not to be very efficient. They work in some areas, but they proved not to be very efficient. I remember seeing a presentation 15 years ago by the head of AI, well, the head of, I guess he would have called it AI, at Yale University. And it was entitled, Where Artificial Intelligence is Going and Why It Never Got There. And the reason was because the rule-based systems were not the right way to go. Instead, it's the database systems that we're using now that are used to extract information from the world where you don't know the rules, the algorithms to figure out the rules. So we're going to see the continuum melding of business requirements with the kind of AI that is needed for solving the problems that the business has. But the mindset difference that is taking place is that business entrepreneurs have to let go and let the AIs develop the technology.
Yeah. So it's kind of like automate everything that you can realistically automate while leveraging the fact that it's self-learning, so it will learn more of your business as it goes.
And to understand what kind of AI is appropriate. Because, for example, the kind of pattern recognition that we tend to work is very different from the kind of pattern recognition, for example, that would go into writing a story or composing an audio or a video system. It's much more basic. but it's appropriate for what we're doing. If we're trying to recognize, as we do, the Postal Service's addresses, we have to train it on the Postal Service's addresses. That's not very sexy, but it's very effective when it happens.
Yeah.
The other problem, it's the problem I want to point out with AI, and it's something that is my major worry. I'm not looking for Skynet to show up tomorrow. My problem is, right now, when AI screws up, anyone can tell that it's screwed up.
Yeah.
It's just really, really bad. But it's getting harder to tell. Someday, it won't screw up. It'll be self-correcting. There'll be competitive systems that check each other and so forth. But we're not there yet. We're nowhere near there yet. We're moving in that direction, but we're nowhere near there. In between is this region where humans cannot tell that the thing's screwed up. That's the most dangerous part of AI. Not because it's malicious, but because it will fool humans, and humans will think they've got something that works that doesn't.
So this gets kind of tricky now, because if you implement AI into your business and it screws up and you're heavily relying into it, what do you do then?
How and what indeed? And then the answer is, I don't know. Because if you put everything into AI and it has not done what you thought it was doing, but looked like it was doing what you thought you were doing, you've got a problem. Now, is it a solvable problem? Sometimes it's solvable, as I said before, with having competitive systems. Have another AI look at it. In other words, there are AIs, well, competitive learning, where this guy is trying to push things forward and this guy is trying to hold things back, and they fight each other, and that's where improvements come.
And let's explain AI to the audience really quick, because maybe some people don't understand the difference between AI and machine learning and just the script that's written.
Right. Or rule-based script, for example.
Yeah.
When I say artificial intelligence, I mean the broad category. Everything where a machine, a computer, does an action that, were it done by a human, would be considered the product of intelligence. In a certain way, it's like the Turing test. A Turing test is you have an intelligent being on the other end of the conversation if you cannot tell that you don't. And AI is not there yet, but it's getting closer and closer all the time. And so artificial intelligence is the ability to extract information, find patterns, and make rational and correct decisions from data. The ability to make rational decisions. And we are already there in some areas. We're not there in a broad, right? General AI doesn't exist yet, however much hype people are saying. In other words, you're not going to have a robot or an android that is walking around acting like a human on all subjects. Not for a while.
I've seen some crazy stuff, Dave.
But it's always under limited conditions.
Yes.
And it's always under highly controlled conditions. That'll change. Right? And again, I'm not looking for Skynet. I'm looking for usable things. If anybody wants to use artificial intelligence today, I would say be very careful not to listen to the hype, but on the other hand, be very careful not to listen to the panic either.
I had this argument with someone the other day. I heavily rely on AI to make me more productive, to help me do things faster, right? If something would usually take me 3 hours to do and I can get it done in 30 minutes, I'm gonna do that because time is everything. Now, the argument we had is, well, now you're not learning, right? So, for example, if I have to sit there and send the same email to 50 different clients, right? And there's little changes in each email. If I had to do that manually, it would take me 3 hours. If I had AI help me, write me a script for 50 different clients with client 1 needing this, client 2 needing this, client 3 needing this, client 4, and just going down, well, I just got the 50 scripts and it's copy and paste, right? I still have to read it, I still have to make minor changes, but it saves me so much time. The argument I had with that person is they said, well, no, you should write to each client individually. You should do each thing individually because it makes you smarter, it makes you better, and it will teach you more. Now, what do you think about people who say that? My response, or I'll let you say this and I'll say my response.
I'll answer it very straightforwardly. I'm not interested in learning how to drive a horse-drawn carriage better. I'm interested in learning how to drive a car better or an airplane better.
Yes.
Learn how to do better the tasks that are required by the world you are in. And writing 50 emails with slight variations in it is not the world you should be in.
Yes. And the example I gave him is when the internet first came out, how many people said, no, I'm still gonna go to the library.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna read my books. I'm still gonna take notes by hand every time.
Right.
And where are those people now versus the people that said, let me learn this computer. Let me learn how to reach any information I want at the tip of my fingertips within 5 minutes, right?
Well, let's consider that. I used to go to the library and dig information out, and it would take me all day to find 1 or 2 facts. Now I can do that in 1 or 2 seconds. And who's more productive, me then or me now? Obviously me now. It's not making a difference what information I get. It's making a difference as to how much information I get and how useful that information is and how relevant that information is. I have no patience for those who want us to keep making better buggy whips.
Yeah. Because it's nice if you know how to read a book and get the facts out, and that's a skill that everyone should have, and
Sure.
you should go through and that's what school is for, right? School teaches you, hey, here's this article. What do you think about this article? Highlight certain things and share topics with your friends, respond to your friends. Those are skills that school teaches you. It's not school doesn't care so much about the article. It cares more about teaching you that skill. And I think that's a misunderstanding people have. So if you already have that skill, right? And then you used AI to find the key things in that article. So then all you have to do is share it and respond to people. You're going to get things done
Yes.
a lot faster.
If you want a good summary of an article that is too long for you to read and you just need to know the gist of it to know whether it's relevant for you, AI is absolutely beautiful for that. But AI is not going to make you appreciate Paradise Lost.
Yes.
You have to read Paradise Lost for yourself in order to appreciate Milton.
Yeah.
And that's an important difference. There are things that are edifying that will probably not for a very long time be the province of AI. Yes, someday you'll be able to have an intelligent conversation with an artificial intelligence about Satan versus God in Paradise Lost, but not yet.
Didn't we have AI 10 years ago when the iPhone 4S came out and we had Siri?
Given some of the silly mistakes that Siri made, the answer would be no. I've used it for finding me directions to places and found myself in the parking lot and it was telling me I was 100 miles away. Yeah. So the answer was not, it may have been artificial, but it sure as heck wasn't intelligent.
And it wasn't self-learning.
It wasn't self-learning.
Yes.
And so the answer is no. That was much more of a rule-based system.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of rule-based systems out there, but it was more of a rule-based system. 10 years from now, just a short time of that, we're not going to call what we have now artificial intelligence.
No.
It will still make the joke as artificial, but it's not intelligent. But once we abandon the rule-based things as the main paradigm in artificial intelligence, we started making real progress. And I think that real progress has not exhausted itself by any means.
Yeah. Do you think businesses that don't transition to AI and self-learning will fall behind?
If AI and self-learning is important to what they do, yes. But there are businesses. I mean, I don't really think my gardener needs to know much about artificial intelligence.
But do you think if he incorporates artificial intelligence to his route to make smarter decisions, his company will be more
Weekly, yes, I think it will improve things, and more to the point, it will improve products that he uses, not that he develops, but that he uses. And in that case, yes, I absolutely think that is correct. Because I think artificial intelligence, like any technological advance, will improve overall quality of life and make development of new things, whether products or businesses or whatever, easier. And will it unemploy everybody. Well, I don't know, but the Industrial Revolution is 150 years old and it still hasn't unemployed anybody to speak of. It moves jobs around, but doesn't get rid of them.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good story. Next one, we have a lot of questions about artificial intelligence. We're going to be asking a lot of questions, at least me. So make sure you guys subscribe, turn on post notification. This one will be posted in 2 days, so you really don't want to miss out because that's where the juicy questions are coming. So
Thank you.
yes.